Hello, my name is Justin, and I'm with Project Lampite Group. I'm here with Jeremy, and Jeremy's going to talk to us today about being in balance and why being in balance and setting your intentions for being in balance is a good thing.
Thank you, Justin. We're going to be talking about intentions and doing a series on intentions. The first thing we want to talk about is exactly what Justin was saying, is we want to learn how to be balanced. And most of us go throughout our life not sitting in a balanced state. Typically, we're all out doing all of our daily job, paying our bills, always in a sense of urgency. We're missing a lot of opportunities, and this is mainly because we don't have clear intentions. We don't have a clear state of mind. And what is preventing us from that is that we're not balanced in our life. In other words, we're not doing a proper balance between our kids and our spiritual life and our health. And we mainly say stuff like, I don't have time. And as a result of that, we're out of balance. And what we're going to be doing here is demonstrating, and that's the best way to explain this, is demonstrating how to be in balance and the feeling behind it. So I think that's what we want to go ahead and start off with as an exercise so that we can discuss it even further, so we can have you ask the serious questions and be able to experience that feeling inside of yourself. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Justin's going to be our guinea pig, so to speak, and we're going to demonstrate that, and we're going to have him talk about his feelings so you can get an idea of how this feels in your body. So what we'd like you to do is we'd like you to do this with us and experience this right in your homes. Okay, so now we're in a space where we can have Justin, have him demonstrate connecting and grounding and balancing. So what I'm going to do is have you stand there, relax, and have your arms down here. And just close your eyes, relax. And you've done this exercise before, so we're going to have you pretend just for a second that you're 5. You're going to take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale out through your nose and relax your body. And then that small aspect of yourself that you're pretending you are, you're going to drop that down into your heart. You can play around a little bit and look around and see your lungs and everything. And just going to relax into the heart. And then while you're there, we're going to have you walk through all your chakras. So you're going to drop your consciousness down into your root, which I like to affectionately call your pee-pee chakra, just for fun. But you're going to go down in that area and you're going to open it up as if it was a star. So you're just going to take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale out, you're going to push that star out. And so then you're going to go to your sacral chakra, which is right where your belly button is at. Do the same thing. And you're going to keep on repeating that all the way up. So you're going to go to your solar plexus, which is right above right at your sternum. And then your heart, your throat, your third eye, and your crown. And so then you're visualizing a wave of energy that comes down from the heaven and down into your crown, and it comes down into your heart. And as you're saying that, you're saying connect. And you say ground, and a wave of energy comes up from Mother Earth all the way into your heart through your root. And then very important, you say in your mind, balance. And you let that energy push out from your heart. And it's like your heart just supernovaed. And that energy just pushes out into the universe. And you just allow your body to go. And you want to pay close attention because Justin's kind of swaying around. And he's really kind of in a flow, so to speak. And just kind of relaxed. And he's just letting himself. So this is an exercise in letting go. And just letting yourself experience this. And so right now he's experiencing what it's like to be balanced. And so we want to go ahead and debrief this, but this is the basic exercise. You're going to go through your chakra systems, and remember, your root chakra's here, your sacral chakra's here, Your solar plexus is here, your heart is here, your throat, your third eye, and your crown. So there's 7 main ones we're going to be working with here.
So what I was feeling when I was going through the balancing was, again, I had lost any anxiety or sense of feeling like my thoughts running away from me. I had control over my consciousness completely, and it's a place I've been able to get more and more easily to lately because I've been meditating more and more. But as far as in my daily practice, I don't meditate 12 hours a day or anything ridiculous like that. As far as being balanced on a daily basis, literally it could just mean 20-30 minutes of accumulated meditation time. Sometimes if you only have 5 minutes and you're in the bathroom at work and you just need 5 minutes, you can easily just go into the stall, close your eyes, and do this exercise with yourself. And the more and more you do it, the easier it will be to get there. So when I was there, as Jeremy was taking me through, as I was saying, I felt no stress, no anxiety. It was almost at a place where you don't really feel any emotion. It's such a place of placidity and tranquility. But you do feel an overwhelming sense of acceptance and connection when you're there, I feel like. So one of the big things I think is important for being balanced is making sure that you're setting your intentions from a place of balance. For example, if you're at work and you're feeling stressed because you have some deadline you need to meet, or because of whatever it is that's stressing you out, and you're setting your intentions from that place without balancing yourself first, then you're setting your intentions from a place that comes without balance. And I'm sure Jeremy could talk a lot about this, but you can, and in doing so, create intentions for yourself that either aren't really desired or wanted, or create further negative thought patterns and negative events in your life that cause you more stress and more anxiety. So being balanced and coming from a place of balance, or attempting to come from a place of balance at almost all times, is extremely beneficial for not only achieving the desires that you truly want to achieve, but also giving yourself the opportunity to get back to the place where you should be and where you want to be, and then making decisions from there. I think all of us have come at a time and a place in our lives where we've made decisions in a hasty fashion that we've come to regret. And those hasty decisions, or that intention set in a time of stress or anxiety, can be alleviated by just coming from a place of balance and being balanced.
And Justin, you brought out a lot of good points when we're talking about balancing, and it's probably one of those profound feelings you'll ever have, because at first when you start doing it, you're going to start feeling such a drastic difference, because most of us have lived our entire lives out of balance, and we're out of balance because we're living in several expectations, and we're living through our addictions and many other things that are going on in our lives, and because we have a misconception about what life really is. And what life is about is experience. And what happens is, because of our expectations, it pulls us out of balance, or our addictions, it pulls us out of balance. And so that is one of the reasons why many, many masters or many, many gurus have talked about everything happens and we do everything within moderation. And so what's very important about this conversation is, people get really stuck on the fact that it's like, oh, I was out of balance, and I shouldn't have done that. I just really threw everything off. And no. Because what happens is that when you do that, you take yourself even further out of balance. And so the opportunity here is that when you find yourself in the space of you're reacting or you feel discomfort or disease or tension on your body, and you're out of balance, then you just sit there for a second. You take that 5 minutes. Maybe it's like Justin said, it's in the bathroom, or you go out to your car on lunch, and you focus in on connecting, grounding, and balancing. And you can do that same exercise, and you can just say, you could be at your desk or you could be at work, and you say, take a deep breath in. You just pretend, and you just like connect, ground, balance. Nobody has to know. Because those words, what they're doing is they're setting an intention of being and living a balanced life. And so what happens is that the emotions behind what you're doing and what you're telling your body is to say, hey, let's take a second to breathe. Let's get back into focus. Whatever is going on, I might be reacting in this moment, but I'm going to step back and I'm going to refocus. And I'm going to take a look at why I'm reacting. And that reaction is going to help me understand myself more. And what's so cool about this is that when you do that, then you set an intention. When you're doing that intention of looking at your reactions and getting back into balance, you're setting the intention of being self-aware. And what you're going to find is your life is going to start changing drastically. Because you're going to start seeing the world as different. Because from an unbalanced state and an uncentered state, you're looking at it from a state of constriction, victim. Nothing happens right for me. Everything is falling apart. But from a balanced state, you're looking at everything as an opportunity. So when you don't have as much money, you're looking at it as an opportunity to relax, maybe. To spend more time with your family, with your friends. And in an imbalanced state, you're going to say, I can't do anything and my life is not going anywhere. And I don't have any money to do anything. And there's many, many things we can do. And we're going to cover all these subjects, but we just kind of want to give the idea that in a balanced state, you'll start thinking and looking at the world differently because you're going to be looking at it through the eyes of God or the eyes of the universe or goddess or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really matter. And that arguing of what is or the words, that takes us out of balance because it says that somebody else is wrong and I have to be right. And so therefore it puts us in a polarity. And there can never be balance in a duality because everything needs to come into oneness, into a centered state. And so we'll be talking about vibrations and about money and health and many other things. And we wanted to get to that point where you understood what balance is. So take this time, 21 days, to just practice this every day.